Hey, so this is another video here real quick. I know, 2 for 1 day. It's crazy. About racism and race. Critical race theory is junk, because critical theory is junk. It's Marxist crap. It's not actually meant to explore and explain the real world as it is, or even hopefully give you any sort of policies for correcting problems. That's not what critical theory does. Critical theory tries to break everything down into a million little individual pieces so that you can't coherently talk about anything. It's meant quite purposely to destabilize civilization. That was what its founders basically said that it was supposed to do. So no, critical race theory is junk. Every critical theory is junk. So you shouldn't listen to it at all, and don't use their definitions. But more appropriately for today, here's kind of an interesting thing for me. The left swears up and down that the current racial divisions that exist in the US are due to Trump being bombastic and saying a lot of racist things. Now, I have challenged many people, at least a couple dozen at this point, to specify what precisely Donald Trump has said that has been racist. Now, I can think of one example that is pretty dang cringy, and that was when he didn't want a judge of, I believe, Mexican descent who still had family and friends within the general Mexican country and or culture close to the border, performing a judgment on something to do with a lawsuit with him. Because of his stance on illegal immigration. He didn't think that would be fair. That's pretty cringy. That's pretty cringy. Probably shouldn't have said that. That's pretty much all I got. You know, the Muslim ban never happened. Never was one. Never was supposed to be a Muslim ban. That was, by the way, an artifact of the Obama era. The kids in cages was an artifact of the Obama era. He's black, by the way, in case you didn't know. I mean, you know, that's the first black president. I don't know if you heard about that, but that happened. Both of those things are from the Obama administration. Fine people on both sides, there were. We know that because lots of people were there who were not part of tiki torch carrying racists, nor were they part of piss bottle commies. Lots of people were just there to say, hey, we should take the statue down because we think it's offensive. And a lot of people are like, yeah, I mean, we understand why, but we don't think we should take the statue down because of all these historical reasons. And then here came the agitators from both sides, and they got into a big fight, and eventually somebody got killed, and that's really terrible. It didn't need to happen. But that's right. There were lots of people there on both sides of the statue issue, which he clarified almost instantly to say exactly that's what he was talking about. Which, I mean, if you actually knew anything about what happened, you would have known that he was talking about that from the get-go. So, you know. But that's being fair to words. You know, it's being fair to a person and assuming that they're not monsters when they're speaking and giving some degree of charity to what they're talking about. You know, more than the zero that a lot of people give Trump on charity. You don't have to give Trump a lot of charity. I'm not asking you to believe every word that he ever said. But, you know, take like 2 whole seconds and go, gee, I wonder if he meant something else than something other than the worst humanly possible interpretation. And the answer will more often than not be yes. So, to the extent that Trump is racially divisive, I don't quite understand why that's being said, other than people on the left who basically think anybody is racially divisive unless they basically fall prostrate on the floor and beg for forgiveness for slavery and want reparations ad infinitum and just go all the way through it to just admit that they're racist just because they're white and all the like. Basically, they think everybody that is like that is a racist. And that doesn't play well with me. I think that's ridiculous because it's part of critical race theory, which is what Trump thankfully banned. He should have made a point on that in the debate a lot more clear. He's not very good at doing that, though. Oh well. But yeah, I don't quite understand why they're divisive. This current climate started before 2016, before the election ever started. It was started back in 2014 during the Obama administration. So if the country became more divided that caused all the rioting and chaos because of a president, it wasn't Trump. Now, you might say Trump has thrown more fuel on the fire that Obama also did. Maybe. Although they had quite different approaches. Maybe you can say that. Or you can go with what's probably going on, which is the racial division was caused primarily by a bunch of commies in academia trying to get everybody to be divided on purpose because it's a plan. Yuri Bezmenov, look him up.